Happy Fossil Friday! This is Dinosaurs of Ohio, technically. So I got this request from Lily, which is great, but there's a tiny little problem. Because usually when we're talking about dinosaurs, we're talking about things like Stegosaurus or Diplodocus here, things that lived during the Mesozoic. This is the age of the dinosaurs. But Ohio doesn't actually have any rock from that time. Why doesn't Ohio have any rock from the time of the dinosaurs? Most of it probably didn't form. You don't always get rock forming everywhere. You have to have deposition in order to form rock. The other thing is that the glaciers here would have stripped off a lot of that younger rock and would have exposed the rock that's much older beneath it. But if you use a great tool called the Paleobiology Database, you can pull up fossil records from across the world here. And if you do that for Dinosauria, you'd be like, oh, wait a minute, there's a couple little dots there in Ohio. What's that about? But then when you make it just the Mesozoic era, then they all disappear. And that is because they're showing you records of birds. So in case you don't know, birds are actually descended directly from dinosaurs. That means the name dinosaur actually applies to them scientifically, so that every type of bird alive today, everything from penguin to flamingo to this little bobwhite here, is a dinosaur. So they're actually showing you the records of birds in the state, and there are some of those going into the fossil record. Now, Ohio does have a bunch of fossils from the Ice Age. This is much younger stuff that's kind of lying on top of that much older rock there. So there is a chance to find Ice Age birds in Ohio, and those reports often look pretty simple, something like this. Here's one with a whole lot more, but same basic idea, right? It's just a report of the kinds of things found there rather than a bunch of fun, cool pictures. Some of these records won't be surprising, things like turkeys, trumpeter swans, barred owls, and so many other kinds of birds that you can still find in Ohio today. It also includes things like swallowtail kites, which are exceptionally rare in Ohio nowadays, but actually back then were a lot more common. But it also includes things that have gone extinct in human time, including the passenger pigeons. This used to be incredibly abundant all over North America, hunted into extinction, and actually the last one died in the Cincinnati Zoo in Ohio named Martha in 1914. What I thought was really cool is they found remains of the ivory-billed woodpecker. Now, if you don't know about this bird, it's largely thought to be extinct. That is a heavily debated thing. The last universally accepted sighting was in 1944, and regardless, finding bones of it in Ohio is actually pretty cool. And there you go, one of the rare actual figured Ohio bird fossils is the right tarsometatarsus of an ivory-billed woodpecker. Just for reference, we're talking about this leg bone right there. Now, Ohio has all kinds of other cool fossils, including their state fossil, Isotylus, this really big trilobite that could get like 2 feet long. This was adopted in 1985, and I did a whole video on their state fossil fish adopted in 2020, Dunkleosteus. So cool. Even though they're not the dinosaurs we're used to thinking about, Ohio still has some cool stuff. Thanks for the request, Lily.